Hi, I'm Brad Hubbard Nelson from Concord, and I'm here with John Snell from Lincoln, Jan Assetti from Concord, and Bob Zog from Carlisle. And our volunteer group has been studying heat pumps for several years and recently ran a program promoting them in our 3 towns. One of our big concerns is carbon emissions, and our state has aggressive goals on reducing the amount of emissions that we produce. But why are heat pumps of interest, Bob?
Well, thank you, Brad. First, let's talk about what a heat pump is. A heat pump is a type of equipment that will pump heat from a cooler place to a warmer place. And we know from our personal experience that that's against the normal gradient. Nature likes to take heat from warm places to cool places, but sometimes we want to move it in the other direction. Now, heat pumps are nothing new. We've had them in our homes for many, many years. The first refrigerators were introduced over 100 years ago, and they're basically a heat pump as they extract heat from a cool cabinet area and pump it into a warmer kitchen. Other examples we have in our homes include air conditioners and dehumidifiers. When we talk about heat pumps that we use for home heating, there's 2 basic types: air source heat pumps and ground source heat pumps. Both of these types not only heat our homes, but they also provide cooling for our homes. So they really work both in summer and in winter. And the basic difference between these 2 types of heat pumps is that the air source heat pump will pump heat from the outdoor air into our home, whereas the ground source heat pump pumps the heat from ground into our home. There are also heat pumps on the market called heat pump water heaters or hybrid water heaters that provide domestic water heating. In other words, they heat the water we use for bathing, for dishwashing, and for clothes washing. And there's several benefits to heat pumps. The most important one is that they provide substantial reductions in emissions of greenhouse gases. And if you're able to get your electricity from a renewable energy source, they actually will virtually eliminate emissions of greenhouse gases associated with home heating and water heating. Another big advantage is that they can save energy costs. They can reduce energy costs compared to propane, conventional electric, or fuel oil heating. And in the case of ground source heat pumps, they can even help save energy costs compared to natural gas. And perhaps the biggest unknown advantage of heat pumps is the comfort improvements they can make in our homes. Current equipment that we use in our homes normally cycles on and off for cooling and heating, whereas modern heat pumps run continuously, provide just enough heat or just enough cooling to satisfy the loads in our home. Very uniform temperatures, very comfortable, very quiet, and it's really something to be appreciated. Back to you, Brad.
Certainly, heating our homes is not cheap in New England. It costs an average family a couple $1,000s to heat their home through the winter. And that's because it's the biggest energy use besides transportation that we use. It's more than 50% of the energy in our home, and if you combine it with water heating, it's more like 75%. So doing this in the most efficient way possible is a reasonable thing to want to do. Now, heat pumps are electric, so why are they better than conventional electric? And it's mainly that efficiency. It takes about 1/3 the energy to extract heat from the outdoor air and bring it into your home as it does from generating it, or more like 1/6 if you extract it from the ground. That gives us the opportunity to save a good chunk of money and also reduce our greenhouse gases quite a bit. John, what do you think?
Well, we've come together as volunteers to help our neighbors make this transition from fossil fuel systems that we're all very used to, like gas boilers, oil-fired boilers, and wood stoves, to something better and more efficient. And there are a couple reasons to be doing this. One is if you're thinking about replacing your system, it's starting to get old, now's the time to ask the question, what if I put in something a little more efficient? And the second reason is what we call generically saving the planet. There are significant environmental reasons for us to put in more efficient systems, and that's a driving force for many people. There are a few challenges with these systems. The first one is one size doesn't really fit all. It's not like just taking out a boiler and putting in a new one. You have to stop for a second and think about it, what really makes sense. The second challenge is the technology isn't as common. Most of us have other systems than high-efficiency heat pumps. And the last challenge is it's often more expensive. So you have to balance out the additional expense. And the good news is there are quite a few people who want us to install these systems. The federal government, Massachusetts, Concord, all have incentives and credits that can help take the curse off the initial expense. So I'd love to pass this on to Jan now to have her explain where she sees this from Concord's perspective.
The Concord Municipal Light Plant, which is Concord's electric utility, is committed to helping its customers transition from fossil fuel-fired heating to electrically powered heating in order to help Concord and the state achieve ambitious greenhouse gas reductions. And for that reason, the Concord Municipal Light Plant is providing incentives, and along with our colleagues here in other communities, trying to provide technical assistance as well to help area residents make that transition. And we will talk more about those resources that are available to help in another video.
Thanks, Jan. And thank you for your attention. We have other videos following this on the technologies, things you need to know about heat pumps, and also some testimonials from people who have installed them in their homes, and further details on how to take advantage of the rebates and incentives available to you. Thanks for watching.